Okay. This might be the only video I do in the morning. You know how I said I had that Nissan Leaf? It was a 2015. I got it for $10,000, roughly. It's like 10,000. It only goes 84 miles on a charge. Again, probably a little less than that when you're on the highway and stuff. But because with electric vehicles, the faster you go, the quicker it uses the battery because of the wind resistance and stuff. Kind of odd because cars get better gas mileage when they're on the highway. But whatever. So I ultimately gave it to my dad. He loves the car. And I'd always say, because I experienced it, I don't stop at gas stations ever. You don't need to. What's there? Oil change, no such thing. Spark plugs, no such thing. Exhaust problems, my check engine light, no. Very simple electric motor, no transmission. It's ridiculously like awesome. And did I mention you don't ever go to a gas station again? It's fantastic. These things can get nearly 90 to 100 miles per gallon equivalent by using electricity. I mean, it's phenomenal. So I always said, F these gas companies, man. Once we all, it's like liberating. Driving that car was liberating. Now I'm in a Jeep, 2009 Jeep. That's, 14, 15 miles a gallon. Oh, I'm back to being a gas debt slave to these, elites. So back in my mind, at some point, Snip needs, I think I want to go back to the electric thing. At some point, not necessarily getting rid of the Jeep, because I do have use for that in the mountains. Having said that, zero hedge. I just got done talking about the state of Illinois. It's in shambles. It's massively in debt. It spent $38 billion for, that doesn't have, I think it was 38 or 43 billion, whatever it was. Here's a new article for you. Zero hedge. Electric vehicle owners in Illinois must pay $248 per year to make up for lost gas tax revenue. I'm tired of being a debt slave to these criminal gas companies, and of course the criminal government that has these high level of taxes on gas every gallon. Of course, the hidden income tax, so to speak. And only to find out, oh, you don't want our drugs anymore? No, I don't. Actually, I want to get off that stuff. I'm trying to get out of that debt drug. I'm trying to live my life a little better. Oh, you can't, because we're losing that revenue. The dope man's losing his revenue. $250 to $48 a year. As if people in Illinois weren't being taxed enough as a result of the state's ongoing pension crisis, now electric vehicle owners in the lowest rated state are going to have to pay $248 in annual registration fees next year. I would instantly file a lawsuit. Excuse me, this is kind of like the Obamacare thing, which they now has found illegal, where just because someone doesn't want health insurance means you get to find them. And people who do get health insurance, you don't find them. No. That's illegal. If I drive an electric vehicle, you can't tax me, but not tax somebody who drives a car. Well, we are, through the gasoline they're using, correct. But again, healthcare, I don't want to use that. I'm not using gas. I don't want to use those cars. I'm using electric car. Oh, you can't tax one group of people and not the other, basically. So hopefully a lawsuit comes and strikes that garbage down. Struck down in a blaze of glory. What do you do when you're a bankrupt state that's run by Democrats, like all the bankrupt states and cities that are Democratic strongholds? Oh, what a shame. The higher fee is part of the state's road improvement legislation. Whoa. We've always heard, oh, we got to raise the local sales tax. We're going to fix roads and potholes. We've been doing that every time there's anything that has to get raised fee-wise, tax-wise. That's the story we hear. So you guys have been collecting for that for how long? For how many decades now? You can't use that excuse anymore. Oh, it's for road construction. No, you can't say that anymore. But if they say it that way, well, yeah, we do use roads. I need to get from point A to point B. All right. Politicians realize that's kind of the easiest way to get you to pay more versus other reasons. Like we need to set $2 million aside to determine if transgenderism is actually healthy or not healthy for a person's life. which you'll see stupid stuff like that, like the dumbest thing you ever heard of. We're going to do a study on frogs mating in winter as opposed to spring. We have $2 million set aside for this project. Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Like, no. Anyways, Tom Coleman, 69 of Naperville, whatever, said, quote, they've cut it back from an outrageous number to a more reasonable number. Most electric vehicle owners are going to feel a lot better than $1,000, but still upset because they were going to do, that's what I'm saying. The higher fee, which it says, first of all, let me go back. As if people in Illinois weren't being taxed enough as a result of the state's ongoing pension crisis, now electric vehicle owners in the lowest rated state are going to have to pay $248 in annual registration fees next year, which is $100 more than what owners of gas-burning cars pay, according to the Chicago Tribune. The higher fee is part of the state's road improvement legislation. The fee is a massive hike from the $17.50 a year that electric vehicle owners currently pay, but significantly lower than a $1,000 fee that lawmakers proposed last month in a bid to compensate, for the loss of state tax gas revenue. They were ready to hit these people up for $1,000. $1,000. Here you go. What's that equal? About $80 a month or so? Spread out over a year. $80 a month for what? For trying to get away from paying for gas and stuff. Now I got to pay it anyways. Because you want to know something? On some of these electric vehicles, you might be, when you are spending $200 to $300 a month or more on gas, you might only be spending $40 or $50 total, like if you're doing some serious driving, a month, as opposed to $250, $300 by just going electric. So here's your 50. You're making it for 50 plus 80. Unbelievable. So they said they've cut it back from the outrageous number of $1,000 to more reasonable $248. Still not reasonable. Don't tax me something that you're not taxing everybody on. Me and Evelyn, we homeschool. She does. Theoretically we both do, but she doesn't. I can't go in the county. Listen, most of my property tax, a huge chunk of it, goes to the school system. I'd like to inform you, we don't ever want to, nor will use your school system. So we don't want to be taxed on that. Nope. Got to pay it. Everyone has to pay their fair share. Right? Everyone has to pay this tax, is what they're saying. Is what I'm telling you. If it's a tax for everybody, it's a tax for everybody. You can't say, oh, electric vehicle only, you get taxed this. But gas guzzlers, you continue doing that. Matter of fact, keep buying the gas guzzlers, because the more gas you put in, the more taxes we get as a government. Of course, just because it's been postponed doesn't mean it will not happen. And with the state chronically on the verge of insolvency, Illinois will keep on trying to get an extra pound or several hundred gallons of virtual gasoline from environmentally conscious electric car owners. And it's not necessarily, I'll be honest, not necessarily that people are environmentally conscious. Some people may be like, I just want to stop being raped and pillaged by the gas companies and the government with their theft taxation. So I'm going electric. Not so fast, says the government. Again, we have all this debt, 22 trillion, 70, 80, 90, 100 trillion, depending on what you read, of off the books debt. Like, it's not going down, it's only going up. So if that's the case, and it is, why are any of us paying taxes? Why do we need to pay tax? Why are we paying this? Income tax, local, it doesn't matter. If they're printing the money, and it's just going up, not coming down, we're not eating away at that debt, then that shows us it can never be paid off. And since it can never be paid off, why are we paying it to begin with? Just print the money, Federal Reserve, and do your little trickery that you've been doing all these years. Oh, we're going to buy back the bonds of the government this time. Yeah, just put it on your balance sheet, Fed. 4 trillion, 5 trillion, 10 trillion. It doesn't matter. Just put it on your balance sheet. It's okay. It's meaningless. In the meantime, I'm going to hodl some cryptos as things get real fishy with the financial system. Speaking of the Fed and whatnot. As a reminder, over the weekend, the Illinois General Assembly approved the governor's $45 billion package of transportation infrastructure improvements, which boosted things like vehicle registration fees to help fund it. The gas tax in Illinois, which is already one of the highest in the United States, will be doubled to 38 cents a gallon. And the annual registration fee will jump to $148 from $50 for most gas burning vehicles. Oh wow. So the gas guzzlers are getting nailed too. Not the same thing, but they're getting nailed too. Again, I'd file a lawsuit. No, it's got to be spread even. And you know what the government would do? Okay, we'll spread it even. And then instead of the EV owners paying $248, it'll come down to $225, and the $150 for the gas guzzlers, it'll go up to $170. Okay, which it wouldn't wouldn't do that. That's the same thing. They'd find the equilibrium is what I'm trying to say. Oh, it's $180 for everybody now. Thanks. That's ultimately what would happen. But again, don't do things illegally. If you're the government, don't try to tax a certain group of people and not tax the other. You got to tax everybody. You got to be fair. That's like, oh, you have a diesel, we're taxing you a little more because, well, it's a diesel. Hybrids, well, let's see. And since EVs don't use gas, EV owners don't pay any gas tax. This has prompted the state to assess an additional $100 per year to EV owners in lieu of motor fuel taxes. In other words, congratulations, electric vehicle owners, you're still paying for gas, even if indirectly. Exactly. Hybrids, which still use gas as a supplement to electric power, are not included in the registration surcharge. Legislation introduced last month by Democratic Senator Martin Sandoval of Chicago would have raised the annual EV registration to $1,000 if he had his way. What does Jason Knipp tell you? Put these liberal Democrats in charge, and they will run your government, your housing, your business, whatever they're in charge of, they'll run it right into the effing ground. He wanted $1,000. That proposal was met with pushback from electric vehicle manufacturers and owners who called it unfair and a disincentive. Yeah, I probably would have a few other words, to be honest with you, than those two, but that's a start. Companies like Rivian, or is that Rivian, are calling the $248 fee reasonable compared to the initial fee proposed. Spokesperson Michael McCall said, we appreciate the stance taken by the Illinois legislature on the issue as we continue our to build out an investment in the Norman, Illinois factory that will help increase the numbers of electric vehicles on the road. So Rivian has electric trucks, and they're in Illinois, and they're realizing probably, I'm going to go ahead and say, you guys should have moved out and should continue looking to move out, actually, if you haven't been immediately. It will only get worse as that state goes bankrupt. So you may want to move your facility out of there ASAP, okay? And I was actually looking at some of those trucks, but Tesla, is coming out with a truck. And here's the thing, I got this Jeep, this gas guzzler. It might make sense in the future, J-Snip, electric truck for your mountain treasure hunting stuff. I'm with you on that. I'm okay with that. But, it's a little different when you spend money on a 10-year-old Jeep versus a brand new $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 truck or whatever electric vehicle. That's where they're going to be starting at. And I say 50, more like 60, 70. Jesus Christ, it's just a vehicle. Why is everything so expensive? Even the new cars, gas cars, trucks, $60,000, $70,000 F-250. What? No, I'll buy the 10-year-old one for like, I don't know, $15,000. Thanks. But of course, you want an electric vehicle like these trucks, they're all brand new. So, I mean, you're going to have to wait a few years before they start coming down, And again, as soon as you drive off the lot, everything, whether electric or not, price plummets to the floor. Have a nice day. You just lost $10,000. As soon as you turn that corner, you lost another $5,000. Have a good, thank you, sir. Because we've got pensioners, union workforce, Now, I don't know that Rivian has that, but the car companies, And somebody's got to pay those bills. And by the way, don't tell them this. Even with all this nonsense and these high fees, we still don't have the pension, the obligations we made. We don't have it. We are unfunded like 50% probably, depending on who you ask. Yeah, anyways. Good old Illinois. California's going to go the same path. New York's going to go the same path. Baltimore, I've done videos on Baltimore. Holy crap. These are Democratic strongholds, and they're going to be run into the effing ground. They're going to go bankrupt. Take care.